Hi everybody, it's Mikey from Usually Broken Cars. On today's episode of Living With, I've got Mike and we're going to be looking at his 1994 Nissan Skyline R32 GTR. So let's get into today's Living With. Okay, so for those of you who know, Mike has been a long time friend of mine. We've been mates for longer than I care to think now.
Like long time.
Like 20 years. 20 years.
More than 20 years.
So it's no surprise that he's going to have the car on the channel. So Mike, tell us about your Skyline. What is it? What model is it?
So 1994 R32 GTR. I've had it since September, October 2016. Bought it from HJA. People that do imports, will know the name. Long time dream to own a GTR. Always wanted one.
So how long have you had? Sorry to interrupt. How long have you had it?
What is it now? 24. So nearly 8 years. I guess.
8 years, yeah.
7.5 years. Yeah, long time. Before
JDM tax.
Before JDM.
Yeah,
well, I caught it a little bit wrong, but still,
you say
before
that,
the max.
I mean, we're not going to talk numbers. I do know numbers, but it's over doubled in the value of what Mike paid for it. So. You say you bought it at the wrong time, but you definitely bought it at a better time. Yeah, better time. Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, it's you just try not to. People always bring that in conversation quite a lot, which is a shame. But
I've noticed, like, it's funny because Mike, me and Mike have been to a lot of shows together, and it's funny because the amount of times I've been with Mike and somebody's lent on my car to take a picture of his car. Which kind of brings me on to like my first proper question is, what is it like owning Godzilla?
It was always a dream to own a GTR. I'm a bit of a Nissan fanboy, as you know.
Yeah.
What is it? We've got 3 at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah. What other Nissans have you got?
I've got a Qashqai, which is just a company car, and the other half's got a Cube. So cars with
the Nissan Cube, yeah.
Pepe
The Cube, or also, as I call it, the Pew.
But yeah, so a bit of a Nissan fanboy, but always wanted one. It's, we're the generation of Gran Turismo 1, PlayStation 1.
Grew up on that.
Yeah, and it's all like the Halo cars. Remember like the Calsonic ones, the Pennzoil ones, like you talk about 33 and 34s.
Yeah. That iconic blue Calsonic.
Yeah.
With the white down the side of it.
Then you got like the Zexel ones. We could talk about this all day.
I know. So, moving from that, talk about obviously it's not just the 32 GTR. What spec is it? It's because they have lots of specs in the GTR world.
It's just a standard GTR. If you want, obviously they do like V spec and the N1s and the
what's the
Nismo
difference
ones
between like V spec and N1s?
V spec, I don't know all of them. If I'm honest, I should know it. Being a bit of a fanboy,
you let everyone down.
I don't know. The brakes are different. I mean, this is like you look at the pictures of this or the video of this, which you would have seen. It's got N1 bits.
Yeah.
So like the headlights are N1, the vents in the bonnet. There are bits that.
So it has got some
N1 bits, but I'm only assuming that they were done by whoever owned it in Japan. But this is sort of like it's a really late one. I think it's October '94. Yeah. There was a crossover with the 33s, I think.
Okay. So yeah, this would have been like one of the very last 32s. So speaking of Japan, obviously I know you've done some modifications, which we'll get onto in a minute. But what mods came on the car when you'd got it?
A lot. There's as far as I'm aware, I'm aware, the engine is standard on the inside, apart from the cams.
So internal standard.
So I'm assuming it's standard.
Yeah, standard internals, but you've got lumpy cams.
Yeah, turbos I believe are standard.
Yep.
But it's still got like the supporting stuff like downpipes, sports cat, exhaust, radiators, intercoolers, all like the Greddy pipe work and all that sort of stuff. Nismo stuff like all like arm suspension. bracing, that sort of stuff,
Yeah.
which is quite nice because
Yeah,
trying to get hold of it is pain.
It is,
real
and not only
pain.
that as well, it's so expensive. So for it to already be on the car,
Yeah,
it's an
100%.
absolute win.
Yeah, wheels are already on the car.
Yeah.
Brakes are already on the car. I think they're standard calipers but bigger discs.
Yeah.
I think they're either 350Z or 300ZX.
Yeah.
Don't know exactly. Haven't had to change them yet, to be fair.
That's a result. So, okay, speaking of that, how many miles have you done in it since you got it? I know it's on 100Ks now.
I bought-
101K, I think, in it. So, what was it on when you got it?
I think it was on like 78.
So you've
something
driven
like
it?
that. Yeah.
Yeah, you've done like 22K, so, you know, you're talking probably 15,000 miles.
Yeah.
Which over 8 years isn't a huge amount, but it's not a garage queen. You do bring
No,
it out.
yeah, it comes out.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm not too worried about it if it's wet. I mean, I won't take it out if it's pissing with rain, but if it rains, I
gets
won't
wet.
cry.
Well, to be fair, very, very quick interlude. Mike and I went to Caffeine and Machine back when it first opened. I think this was maybe a couple of months after it first opened.
Yeah.
And it was dry when we drove there, but when we came home, it was horrendously wet. And we ended up going backwards over a curb, almost into a ditch. And I remember Mike wasn't giving it, we were doing 20 mile an hour around a bend, and I just remember it losing traction and me going, uh-oh, as we pirouetted 180 degrees. We bumped up the curb, but luckily it was a drop curb, so there was like the tiniest little mark on a wheel.
Yeah.
And we drove out and drove home. I mean, we were both shitting it afterwards.
It's like,
And we checked it all out, and there was just no damage. We couldn't believe we'd basically put it in a ditch and not hurt the car. It was crazy.
just one of those like really low curbs with low like overgrown grass and
I
stuff.
just remember feeling
just
the
went
bang
up
as
it.
we went over.
Yeah.
So, okay, so 3 favourite things about the car.
The noise.
Yeah, the noise,
I
that
mean,
RB
I love
engine
an
is
RB.
fantastic, and I will insert some clips. It makes a wonder.
That's number one. Yeah. I like how just classically 90s, 80s, 90s noise, Japanese that it is.
I mean, there's plastic everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, it smells of, like, if you've ever driven an import, which I know you have, it smells of that. It's got that smell.
Yeah.
Like, all the buttons are on the gauge pod, which are nice. Like, that as another thing.
Yeah.
And just the fact that it's like, it's a bit surreal, really, because you always want one. It's
an
like
icon.
Some stuff you don't get to ever own.
No, exactly.
So it's sort of...
And it is an icon, and I mean, I'm proud of the fact that you own it, you know, and it sounds really silly, but like, I tell people all the time, oh, my mate Mike's got an R32 GTR, you know, and it is a halo car. It's part of the 276 club on paper, you know, and it's one of those super cool cars that people dream of owning, one of the JDM icons.
Which
exactly.
again,
that will bring me on to my next question. Do you know what sort of power it's running? I know you got it dynoed when you first bought it.
I got it dynoed at 345 when I first bought it, but since then we've got 1000cc injectors, R35 coils, Haltech Elite 2500.
So, I mean, there's a potential to really turn it up. Again, we don't know what that's done to change the power, but it's not 350 horsepower.
It's not.
The Buck dyno says it's a lot more.
It's a lot more usable too.
Yeah.
Like, it was mapped by Tom at Fensport. I don't think he does it anymore.
Yeah.
He stepped away from it, unfortunately.
Which is mad, because Fensport are a Toyota specialist.
Yeah.
But they deal with Haltechs.
Yeah. So that was all done there.
Yeah.
And Tom was very complimentary because it's still got factory twins.
Yeah.
Like, the temptation to do everything else. I mean,
everybody wants
there's stuff in
let's
it.
just put big single on, go 1000 horsepower. But then you lose that street ability. You can't then just drive it. You know, you do your grocery shopping in this sometimes.
Yeah. Just take it out, do whatever. It's just, for me, it's like the potential to do what you want is there. It depends how big your wallet is.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, in the future, I want to change the turbos for aftermarket or refurb or something, just to make sure that those ceramic wheels are not an issue anymore.
Of course,
But no, when Tom mapped it, it went from, like, it just got boost so much quicker. It comes on so much quicker, more usable. Like, so that was the main difference with when I got all that done. I mean, it probably pushes a bit more, but it feels more anyway, because, like, everyone, you know a dyno
you see that curve.
If you've got the more area underneath, which all comes on earlier, it feels
absolutely.
so much more drivable anyway.
So what's that one thing that you hate about it? Because there's going to be something that you hate about this car.
GTR tax, I reckon.
That's
the worst thing. It's like, oh, I'd love to do this.
So it's not the fuel economy.
No, because, well, it hurts. It hurts, but it's for fun, isn't it?
It is.
I don't drive it that
like
much.
We said with
I drive
James, it's miles per gallon. We don't own these cars to think, oh, can I get 50 miles to the gallon?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, we did a run in it, and what did we get? 18, 19?
18, 19, which was only a few better than Sam's 6.3 litre Plymouth.
Yeah, exactly. So that's mad, isn't it?
But it's
So the GTR tax, and what Mike means by that is that like everything that is for that badge is ludicrously expensive.
Yeah,
You
I mean,
know?
I've got so many plans for this thing, but you have to
plan.
You have to plan. Yeah,
because
exactly.
the finances, you know.
Yeah,
Even if you made of money, it's still an expensive car to own.
Exactly. That's why I started with the Haltech and stuff, because that's sort of like the brain.
Yeah.
Now, if I want to replace the turbos and get it mapped,
yeah,
then everything else is already in place.
Yeah, of course.
But there's.
So do you know roughly the cost of that to get the turbos done?
You can get a set of Dash 5s, which is quite common upgrade for the GTR. But I think you can get them for a couple of grand. Obviously fitting, mapping. Mapping's probably another 500, 600, 700 quid on top.
Exactly. So you're already at nearly 3 grand.
Yeah. Plus fitting, you're probably at more than that.
Yeah. Well, you put probably another grand on for fitting.
Yeah. I mean, from what I understand, they're quite bit of a pain to get to.
Yeah.
So you're either going from the top and it takes a while because there's a lot in the way, or you drop the engine, which is a whole another kettle of fish anyway.
I mean, even like the air conditioning. Obviously, we've looked extensively at getting the air conditioning retrofitted, or not retrofitted. It's got aircon, but rectified.
Yeah.
And the cost on that was just mega. And in the end, I think the cheapest option was for us. We're going to take it off. We're actually going to send it away. It's going to get refurbed and then come back to us, because sourcing parts is a nightmare.
Yeah. I mean,
if anybody watching this has got a replacement dash clock for an R32 GTR or an R32 in general, we will buy it. We will buy it.
It worked when I got the car. That's the kicker.
Yep.
And then like a month later, it was dead.
It stops,
just like, oh, shit.
Okay, so a couple more questions and we'll wrap it up. So, like, what's your sort of best memory with regards to like your dad's cars, or like not dad's but family's cars?
My dad had a few cool cars.
Yeah.
I remember he had a Fiesta XR2.
Cool.
Which was cool.
Yeah. Was it a 2 or 2i?
Pass.
Okay, we'll find out.
Pass. I was quite young at that point. One was 1.6.
Well, because the
Mark
I
II
is the
Fiesta.
injection, obviously the 2 is just the carb version.
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll hopefully we'll get some pictures and we'll put them up.
He had black, red stripes.
Yeah,
that was
very cool. And pepper pot wheels.
Yeah. He had quite a few Fords actually. He had some Fords before I was around, but they all got nicked.
As they did, yeah.
As they do, yeah. He had an Escort XR3i.
Yeah, cool.
He had like the white wheels on it.
Nice.
It was cool.
Yeah.
But then Dad worked for Seat, so he used to get company cars, so like Seat Leon Cupras.
Cool.
And that sort of stuff, which was that was sort of like we went to watch rally together.
Yeah, nice.
Through his work, and
that's really cool.
Real fueled the fire.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is cool.
Yeah, that's cool. No, that's nice. It's nice that you've got that bond over the cars and you've built that relationship.
Yeah, that was sort of the time when we started meeting, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah, I mean, we've been, like I say, we've been friends since we were 13. Yeah. I remember going to the motor show with you, like.
It was 2004, I think.
2004. So yeah, you're going back 20 years.
That's 20 years, yeah.
You know, but yeah, no, it's really cool. Yeah, so wheels and tyres, what's the setup, just sizes and...
So it's square, 17 by 9.5J.
17, 9.5, okay.
Yeah, on C28s.
So what's the width of the tyre on the 9.5?
255 all round.
255 all round tyres?
Yeah, which it's quite a go-to sort of setup for the GTRs. I know a lot of people go 18s, but I prefer a bit of a smaller wheel.
To be fair, I'm very much saying chunky sidewall because it looks more race rather than stance.
Yeah. I mean, it would be cool if I could fit because a lot of people do the 35 brake conversion, which would be mega. It would. But you just can't fit it under 17s.
No,
so I'm not willing to.
No.
So
what tyres have you got on it?
The Advan 808Rs.
Oh, the Yokohamas.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, so which replaced the other Yokos actually that we had when we spun around. So.
Yeah, they were a bit dated.
They were instantly off the car when that happened.
It was time to let go.
Yeah, exactly.
But that was just a very brief insight into owning an R32 GTR. So thanks to Mike for letting us do this today. And as always, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Bye. Hi. Do I look fat? That's the important bit. No, genuinely, because I get really conscious. Do I need to adjust my t-shirt so I've got less boob? I don't think so. Okay, good.
Well, that's enough cut. That's an outtake for the end, isn't it? To get less boobs.
Okay, cool. Right.